We are back. Tell. Okay, and he bettered his standings. So that should wrap up our qualifying session, and let's go and take a look at the standings as they appear to be after the end of qualifying session. The Belgian driver Julian Sheen starts from pole position, Anderson Tell second, Valtteri Zviedris third, Philip Memo is fourth, Marco Iliaho starting fifth, and the fifth place is 5.7 behind the leader, lost the sight of the count. We have 26 drivers, with the drivers from South Africa starting the race from the last positions. As we are going to see the first race finish, the top 10 positions will change places for the second race, which means the driver who will win the first race will have to start from the position number 10. So that's a reversed grid for top 10 positions, and we are already lined up on the grid with these small yet powerful cars ready to get racing. Julian Sheen is on the right side of your screen, and after some 40 seconds we are going to see all these cars in action. We are going to start the racing session. You can see some cars starting around the corner, so not everyone is standing on the straight, which appears to be a situation that happens in real life too. 20 seconds till we are going to get racing.
These all drivers starting with cold tires, so first laps maybe it could be with a lot of mistakes.
And lights are out and we are racing. Julian Sheen makes a nice start, so he is out in front, and we should have a lot of battles behind them. The positions are already changing, but Anders Antel is on the move. He is attacking Julian Sheen into the first corner, so Julian Sheen left the door open for Anders Antel, and these two drivers are battling for the first place in the championship, which currently belongs to Anders Antel. There are more fights behind these drivers, and Julian Sheen holds his first place, so that's a nice beginning for him. We have Filip Miemois, who made a small mistake and he's already dropping backwards. He is down into 7th position and he has to defend his current standing. He has a lot of drivers beside him. Someone is turning around, that's Carlson. He's dropping positions while Filip Miemo is back to 7th. Ilyaho makes a big mistake, a huge slide, but he is able to hold it together, so he continues racing. Only one place lost to Tavar Kiladze. So that was an intense first lap with some mistakes and some position changes. Julian Sheen has already 1 second gap, and we have lots of battles going on in the mid-pack. Cars sliding all around. We have a contact between Per Danielsson. It looks like he hit another driver a little bit, and he was not able to hold it all together. 4 cars are running close to each other, even 5-car battle for position number 14 at the moment, and there's a lot of going on. Let's jump into the front. Pekka Sepponen running in 4th place already, and he's very close to the Latvian driver Valteris Zviedris.
He's really pushing Valteris, and Valteris have to catch the leaders.
At the moment, Valteris Zviedris is trying his best to defend the position that he is in. It reminds me of the race 1 week ago. Valteris Zviedris made a lot of defensive moves and he had to protect his position at the Evanisto track, and it looks like it's the same scenario for this driver at the moment. He has a fast driver behind him, the Finnish driver Pekka Sepponen. In the meanwhile, Filip Miemois, after the mistake that he made in the first lap, is trying to regain the lost positions. He's battling with Data Kajaya and Kobosnidze, 2 Georgian drivers for position number 5. Filip Miemois made one more mistake, and now there's lots of cars around him, so he has to watch out. Every time when you want to attack for a position, you have to not forget that there's more cars running behind you and they are all ready to try and retake you. If you make a mistake, we have a contact, and Tavar Kiladze was pushed out of the track. He is wide and he is losing a lot of positions. He is able to hold it all together, and another contact, so that's hard racing for the driver from Georgia. He was running very strong in the top 10, but he's down into 17th position after a couple of contacts between other drivers, and that's a result from running on a small and twisty, narrow track. That's what all racing is about. Philipp Miamois is still running in 7th position after some battling and some small contacts with other drivers. He dropped back a little from Kobosnidze. He is 1 second down and he will try to catch him. We have a fight for position number 8. James Holman is trying to catch Marco Iliaho, and it looks like he's doing a pretty nice job at the moment.
James Holman is 2016 UK vice-champion of Legend Cars, and in 2016 he was Ireland champion, vice-champion, so he is fast too.
And Julian Chin continues his performance. He just ran the fastest lap of this race with a 1 minute and 6, but Anders Antel was not that slower, and we have a contact on the straight. These guys try to bump draft these cars a little bit like they are used to in real life. That did not go very well on this simulator. Oskar Lindberg lost control while he bumped the car in front of him, but they are continuing racing. He was able to hold it all together on the straight, and he will continue to push Yamamoto for the position number 11. We are 10 minutes left in this session, so a lot of hard racing still awaits us. Let's join the battle of Kobosnidze and Philipp Miamois, and they have Marco Iliaho behind them, so if anything goes just a little bit wrong, Marco Iliaho will be ready to try and battle the guys in front. Julian Chin, another fastest lap, so he is continuing to push. 1 minute 6 and 7 tenths. Anders Antel was almost the same. Fast as the leader, 1 minute 6 and 8 tenths. Only a couple of hundreds separated them last lap around, but still Julian Chin is holding the edge over the second place driver. And let me remind you, this is the battle for the championship lead. Anders Antel currently leads the championship by 3 points over Julian Chin. But there's more battles going around the track, and we are continuing to witness the battle between Kobosnidze and Miamois, with Marco Iliaho running right at the back of these drivers. And let's ride on board with Marco Iliaho, who is watching and witnessing the battle in front. And of course he's trying to find any chance and any way to try and get past those guys in front of him. This is a nice seat to race in at the moment, with a great view to the battle that is going on in front of these drivers, and the battle is for position number 6. We are on the longest straight of this track, and here we are entering the zone where slow and twisty corners are changing each other.
And I think in this track leaders will catch lap drivers really fast, because the track is really short, and at the same moment I saw Valteris Vietris just can't hold the pace.
And Nika Kobosnidze made a small mistake, which lets Philipp Miamois try and overtake him, and Marco Iliaho gets his chance too, so these gaps are beginning to be smaller, and attacking moves are already on the way. Oh, and a nice jump, but under braking by Nika Kobosnidze, but he's still able to hold his position, so that's a nice drive from this driver from Georgia. He's doing a nice and phenomenal job holding these fast two drivers behind him. We are on the longest straight, and then we will have a double right-hander, which still belongs to Nika Kobosnidze, so that's a nice defending job. Of course, these drivers are losing time when they are battling each other, because James Holman, the driver from Great Britain, is already on the tail of Marco Iliaho, so that makes a 4-car battle for the 6th place, and this is the hottest place on track at the moment, as it seems.
6 minutes left till the finish, and we are waiting for places changes.
And that's a hot spot at the moment. Nika Kobosnidze is still in front of Filip Miemois and doing a nice job, and you can see that he always places his car to the best position on track to be able to hold on the attacks of Filip Miemois, and he's still holding the edge over the drivers behind him. But they are losing precious time when driving like this. Although this is a short race and that's a sprint race of 15 minutes, so you have to do all that you can to try and fight for position. Marco Iliaho is under the pressure from Holman, and it looks like Holman just made the move stick, although he ran a little bit wide, which led Marco Iliaho to try and retake the position, which did not happen. And Marco Iliaho drops back one place to position number 9, but he is getting back, and he strikes into the inside line of the corner, and he's back into position number 8, and you can see how much precious time these guys are losing while they are battling each other. The gap between them and between these guys is grown to be a bigger one, which lets Filip Miemois try and be a little bit more aggressive, because he's not risking to lose the position that he's running it now. So he can try his best and find the way or the smallest gap on track to overtake Kobosnidze, which still does not appear to happen. Meanwhile, Marco Iliaho, he got back into position number 8, and he increased the gap between him and Holman, and he can try and get back to the battle between Kobosnidze and Filip Miemois and try to finish in 6th position.
Our race leaders now are just flying in this circuit. Their lap times is 1 minute 7 and 0 all the time, so this is really high level.
Nice and steady driving from the leaders. Of course, Julian Sheen and Anders Santel have a clear track in front of them and behind them, so they can concentrate on the best racing lines possible, and they are doing the job pretty well, while these two drivers continuing to battle, and Kobosnidze is doing a phenomenal job defending his 6th position while losing a little bit of time. Wow, he runs a little bit wide on the straight. I think there's a left car between these drivers. What's going on here? I thought he lost concentration for a short of moment, but it looks like he had to overtake a car that was a lap behind, and still he's able to hold the 6th position after this small mistake. Marco Iliaho is the next one who will have to overtake the lap car, and there's a contact and
between lap car and
Marco Iliaho, so he is going to be very sad. We have lots of cars that are in this accident. You can see lots of cars spinning around, and that's not a nice finish for these drivers right on at the end of the race number 1. Filip Miemois is still behind Kobosnidze, and he is still not able to find any gap to try and make the move stick. We have more drivers that are going to be lapped. Maybe they will influence the outcome of this battle, and we have another contact between Miemois and Kobosnidze. Kobosnidze is turned around. Filip Miemois almost runs into the pit wall, and he continues to race. He's back. He dropped into 8th position. That lets Danielsson jump up into the position number 7. So what's happening here? We were used to see less of contacts in the previous races, but it looks like that this small circuit leaves no space for close battling, which leads to the drivers crashing, or well, not crashing, but making small contacts with bigger outcomes.
Yes, and Filip Miemois today is showing pretty good pace, but he have bad luck today, and
Yeah, that's an outcome of hard racing. He was in a battle for the whole race with the driver Kobosnidze from Georgia, and I think he was eager to try and regain the position or gain the position. Well, he started further up, I think, from 4th place, and he made a mistake at the beginning of the race. That's why he was very eager to get back to top, and now a move comes from Philippe Miemois against Per Danielsson, and it's not sticking today, although they are running side by side in this twisty section of the track. Per Danielsson made a small mistake, which lets Tavarkiladze, another victim of a contact. He is coming back to top 10, so position number 9 for this driver should mean that he will start the second race from position number 2. It's a very important moment for driver Nika Kobosnidze. He is running a phenomenal race and was running in 5th place. He is currently in position number 11. Someone is around the track and another contact. That's an unsafe coming back to racing, and I think it's a lapped car, so a nightmare continues for the driver from Georgia. He was battling for position number 10, which would let him start the second race from 1st place. That did not happen, so it's going to be a tough second race for the driver from Georgia.
Julian Shane started his final lap, and now he passed the lap driver, so Antel has to do the same thing, and we are waiting for the driver across the finish line. Last corner, and he will win this race.
Yeah, it looks like nothing will stop this guy from winning another race, and that's 3 in a row. He won both races at Evanisto track, and he continues his performance. Nice racing from the leaders. Valteris Viedris comes home in 3rd place, although Pekka Seppänen is right on his tail. Data Kajaya was running all the race in 5th position, and he brought his car back home at the exact same place. So this was the race number 1. Let's take a quick look at the standings while some guys are still
crossing the finish line, and as you can see, they are going very slow right now because that's a finish.
Yeah, we're looking at the final results of the race number 1. These results are not official. They are final but not official because we have seen a lot of drama on track, and I am pretty sure that there will be reports, and the stewards will have some work to do after the race, and I am pretty sure that there are going to be some penalties after the race. So this was race number 1. We are going to have a 3-minute break at this moment, which we will use for a nice visual clip to see and know and understand why these drivers are racing the legend cars. See you in a bit.
Three best things about the class, the positions vary a lot, so there's plenty of overtaking and
quite fast.
Fast, a lot of power, and more or less it is fun.
Best thing for this Legends car and racing is very tough races. It's not so expensive, and everybody can fix it and made it simple.
It is nice steering, fast driving, and nice look.
a car that looks funny, so people like that, especially women. Females tend to be more interested about the shape of the cars, because I think that's the main purpose.
The car is enough powerful and it's quite similar all the cars together, and the racing is so tight.
A legend car is unusual car, so it's something you can control and you are not sure you are controlling it.
I think if possible it's a most fun car what I know.
Tāpēc, ka ir daudz konkurences un šī ir tik tiešām sacīksts.
Nice looking, very aggressive in a drive.
So many in the same race. That's why I like
The speed and the size of the car. Fun to drive.
Lēti, jautri, izskatās interesanti. I like these people.
This is the greatest motorsport series in the world.
Three best things in legends cars are speed, very good competitions, and of course very good fans.
So that was a short clip about the drivers of legend cars, and we are ready for the race. As you can see that Per Danielsson is going to start this race from pole position. The drivers are already lined up and we are ready for racing the race number 2 with a mixed up top 10 and reverse starting grid, so it's going to be very exciting. And we were able to witness a week ago how Julian Sheen made a phenomenal performance, blazing through the field and finishing the second race in first position. So I think we are going to see something similar this evening. We are ready racing, lights on and lights out, and we are green. The cars are rolling to the start. And it's already a defensive move from the leader of the second race, Per Danielsson. He is able to hold that first position, but let's take a look at Julian Sheen. He is back into... He's still running in 10th position, although he made one move stick. Anders Antel is doing a nice job. He's running right in front of him, and we have a lot of battles in front of these guys, so they have to watch out. Someone was standing on the side of the track. A mistake was made. A lot of drivers are running wide, but the two main drivers of the championship, Julian Sheen and Anders Antel, are continuing to run very strongly, while Valter Zviedris, the driver from Latvia, has turned around, and we have a massive crash. A lot of cars involved and a lot of cars turned around. One of them was the driver Valter Zviedris, who had a strong performance in race number 1. Per Danielsson is already dropped into 4th position. Pekka Sekinen is up into 3rd, and we have two drivers, Julian Sheen and Anders Antel, in a battle for position number 6. These two drivers are in a battle for the championship, and it's not going to be that easy for Julian Sheen to try and overtake the driver of Anders Antel, because this guy knows what he's doing. Anders Antel was able to pass Lindberg, while Julian Sheen is stuck behind him, so that's a nice small moment for Anders Antel. He has some gap between him and Julian, although Julian doesn't take very long to overtake the driver of Oskar Lindberg, who dropped into position number 7. Tavakeladze is our current leader, the driver from Georgia, number 33. He's looking very strong, with Filip Miemois running right behind him. So this is a battle for the lead, and we have two fast drivers still climbing the positions up. Anders Antel has Per Danielsson in the view of him. Let me remind you, Per Danielsson started this race from 1st place. Filip Miemois was the fastest guy the last lap around. And who is this?
Fresh.
Oh, and we have a contact. Julian Sheen was taken out by a driver who, in my opinion, was exiting the pit lane. What happened there? That's a strange moment. Anders Antell continues to run strongly in 5th position, but Julian Sheen has dropped into position number 10, so that's not the scenario that Julian Sheen was thinking about prior the start of this race. And here we go again. He is back into position number 10 and he has to start it all over again.
That's a pure gift for Andreas Antell. Right now he has only slower drivers in front of him. So, and now Julian Sheen has work to do.
And that's a pretty intense situation. 4 cars are battling, and this is a narrow track and a twisty track, so it's a pretty hard job to try and keep the track on car on track. But Julian Sheen is holding on pretty well at the moment. I see a battle coming up for the lead. Filip Miemois and Tavarkeladze are running very close to each other. Let's finish to look at this battle and jump into the battle for the lead. Filip Miemois, who had a dreadful first race with lots of mistakes and position losses, he's looking pretty strong for the race number 2. He's battling the Georgian driver Tavarkeladze for the lead, but another contact, and there's a huge pile-up between the three leaders, which lets Pekka Seppänen jump into first place. Anders Antell is already in the battle for position number 2, so a lot of contacts here today on this small track located at Sweden. Anders Antell was not able to make the move stick. Filip Miemois is backed into the 4th place, and Per Danielsson is running 5th. Julian Sheen is still in the battle with 2 cars for position number 7. And let's watch this move from Anders Antell coming into the first corner, and he makes it stick, so he's up into position number 2. Let's jump into the battle for position number 7. It looks like Julian Sheen made the move stick here, so he's up into 7th place, and he has a fast driver in front of him at the moment. Data Kajaya, driver from Georgia, is running right in front of him.
If Andreas Antell will drive at the same pace, Julian Sheen just can't physically catch him.
Well, there's not a huge gap at the moment. It's only 4 seconds or so between Julian Sheen and Anders Antell, the 2 drivers that are battling for the lead of the championship, and we are currently running a mid-season race. That's the 3rd round of the League of Legends Championship, run on World Sim Series.com platform, and another contact, and this time it's huge for Julian Sheen. He's out on track, he jumped around, he's dropped down into 9th place, and he will drop more places because he has no speed at the straight, and he dropped into 11th position right behind the driver from Latvia, Valteris Zviedris, who is in a battle with Linette for position number 9. Let's hope that Julian Sheen will not lose his concentration and he will continue to run strong. There is still plenty of time left for him to finish in a nice place, but there's no win in the 2nd race for the driver of Julian Sheen, who was able to win 3 races in a row. We are on another scenario at the moment, and Julian Sheen is having bad luck at the 2nd race of the Swedish on the Swedish racetrack. Let's watch Filip Miemois try and overtake Tavarkeladze for the 2nd time in this 2nd race. There was contact the last time around. Let's wait and see how it goes this time. He is running very close to Tavarkeladze this time by. Tavarkeladze is defending the inside line, and Julian Sheen makes his car stick the outside line. There was a small contact again, but it was not that crucial this moment. And Filip Miemois is back into position number 3. He has a gap of about 2 seconds between him and Anders Antell, and Anders Antell is battling with Pekka Seppänen. While
Julian Shane at the moment jumps into the 9th place, overtaking 2 drivers, Valteris Viedris and Linet. 7 minutes left till the finish, and we have pretty interesting results right now, Laurini.
Yes, we do. The field is mixed up. Some fast drivers had contacts which left them in lower positions, and that leaves us with some nice racing action, and we still do not know how these guys are going to finish this second race of the third round of the E-BaTCC League of Legends Champions, held on WorldSimSeries.com platform, running a Assetto Corsa simulator.
And Andreas Antel is catching the Sepponen. Only 6/10 left to Sepponen.
So Anders Antel is pushing at the moment, but the same goes for Pekka Sepponen, the driver from Finland. He is looking very strong and comfortable running in first position. He has his eyes concentrated to front of him, and he's doing a pretty good job, although a couple of mistakes in the last corners accord to be made, but that's okay. He has still a 10th gap. Let's ride on board with Anders Antel, who is catching the leader at the moment, although you can see if you are running a little bit too aggressive on this circuit and jump over the curbs, you will lose some time, and you have not got a good exit on the straight, which is pretty important. And we have a double right-hander first corner, which is pretty technical, and it is a slow to slower corner, so you have to be very, very careful there to not lose speed. Julian Shine is flying at the moment. He was 4 seconds behind Ilyaho. He's only 2 seconds at the moment. Ilyaho is fighting Holman for position number 7, so these drivers are losing time when they are battling each other and not running perfect lines. This lets Julian Sheen run very, very fast. He's eager to get back to a better position, and he does not want to finish this race in position number 9, where only 2 points are available. He wants to gather as many points as possible because his main rival, Anders Antel, is still running. And we have a driver that is around and off the track, and we are experiencing some technical issues here this evening. Let's hope we will be able to finish this race. Filip Miemois
is driving in third position and is catching the Andreas Antel. Now he's showing for us a really good pace. His last lap was 1 minute.
He's not doing any mistakes at the moment. He's driving really, really fast, while Anders Antel is stuck behind the leader, and he is not able to run as fast as he would like to, which lets Filip Miemois run a better race at this moment. And with about 4 minutes to go, there's still some time left for Filip Miemois to try and mix into the battle for the lead. Julian Sheen is up into 8th position, and he has James Holman right in front of him, and he is eager to not waste any time and try to overtake as soon as possible, which he does. He's into the inside line, and away he goes into the 7th place. So I imagine that is as high as possible for Julian Sheen at the second race of the third round. Because there's more than 2 second gap between him and Data Kajaya, which well, I imagine is pretty hard to do in the left 2 minutes.
3 minutes and 2 seconds for Shine to catch the Data Kajaya. I think it's possible to do that.
Well, Datakajaya is in a battle for position number 6 with Per Danielsson, so he might lose some time, and you can see Julian Sheen flying. There was more than 2 seconds gap a few corners ago, and now Julian Sheen is all over the tail, and there's a contact between Datakajaya and Datakajaya is spinning round. Julian Sheen runs the fastest lap of the race, and he is up into 6th position, so there's your performance. The guy who won 3 races in a row does not want to stop here. He's up into position number 6 and he's flying at the moment. The gap is just disappearing in nowhere. He's only 1 second and 6 tenths behind Per Danielsson, and that would be the battle for position number 5. Anders Santel is in a battle between him and Pekka Seppänen, while Philipp Miemois is running behind these guys, and he's pretty close. We have seen Anders Santel making a small mistake, which cost him time and let Philipp Miemois reduce the gap, and the time is running out. Everyone knows that, everyone sees that there's only 1 minute and 20 seconds left, which leaves us with 2 laps to go. Pekka Seppänen crossed the line, and there's still plenty of time for 2 laps. So 2 laps of pure racing and a battle for position number 1 between 3 drivers. Let's ride on board with Pekka Seppänen and watch and witness the view that's happening behind him. Anders Santel is eager to try and overtake Pekka Seppänen, but he is not avoiding mistakes, which opens up the gap for Pekka Seppänen, and he is able to hold to his first position. Anders Santel is very, very close at this moment. So is Philipp Miemois, so there's only small gaps between these 3 cars. You can see the different lines, but they are different because these drivers are sliding around because they are eager to go as fast as possible, and they are not avoiding mistakes, and all of them are doing the mistakes. While Julian Sheen is up into 5th position, he managed to overtake Per Danielsson, so that's a nice performance of Julian Sheen, who had a couple of contacts in the race. Anders Santel is starting the final lap, running very close to the leader of the race, but Pekka Seppänen is able to hold the lead. He's still running first, but he has to be very defensive at this final lap of the Swedish race, the second race of the 3rd round. And Pekka Seppänen is doing a pretty nice job defending his first position. He is currently running in 4th position in the overall championship standings, so these points are very important for the driver. Anders Santel makes a small mistake. Will Philipp Miemois use it? It looks like no, but the gap is almost invisible between these 3 drivers. Philipp Miemois is running a little bit too early on the accelerator, and he loses the rear of his car. He's able to continue racing, but the gap is a little bit too big for him to try and overtake the guys in front of him, and we are
Philipp
on the
Miemois
final
is very
straight.
close now.
A drag race to the finish line, and it looks like Anders Santel is able to hold it. It was very close.
Nice finish for these drivers.
Julian Sheen comes home in position number 5, so a nice race for the driver from Belgium. We will have to look at the results after this race and see how the standings are after the 2 races of the 3rd round. Datakajaya finishes only in 11th place after some nasty contacts with other drivers. He was running very strong, but sadly it was not as lucky. Nika Kobosnidze finishes 10th, so it looks like it was a better second race for him, although he was running very strong in race number 1. Let's take a look at the results. They are not official, so these are not final results. It's possible that we are going to see some reports and the stewards making it work. They will have to look through all the accidents that occurred today, and we have seen plenty of them. Congratulations to the winners, 3 Finnish drivers standing on the top 3 podium places, with Sandro Tavarkiladze, the driver from Georgia, came home in 4th position. Julian Sheen finished 5th. And we have some drivers who were unable to finish this race. One of them is Jonathan Mawini, the driver from USA. He had some troubles right at the beginning of the race. So that was it for tonight's race. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for cheering for your favorite drivers. I hope you had a nice hour of this evening. And we are going to see you after 1 week. Although, let me remind you that this Sunday, the second round of the E-BaTCC Championship is going to take place at the Lithuanian circuit Nemuno Žiedas, TCR and GT4 cars, and I think we are going to have a phenomenal battle, so be sure to tune in this Sunday on the same platform, worldsimseries.com. More racing action to come.
Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Auto Plus Feslapas, tai yra lenktynės, reivas, festivalis, merginos, automobiliai.
Niekada ten nebuvusiam žmogui turbūt nelabai ryšiai suprasti, kas ten tvyro ore.
Man širdžiai mieliausias renginys, kokiam aš esu dalyvavęs savo gyvenime. Kažkas pradėjo staigiai, stipriai daužytis ir tai tą akimirką tai atrodo kaip perkūnas iš giedro dangaus ir labiausiai buvo gaila galbūt komandas, kad tiek darbo įdėjom, atvažiavom ir galbūt čia bus tokia pabaiga.
Nuėmus ratą pasimatė visa bėda. Atsisukę yra pusašio varžtai, ten viskas išsitaškė, tepalų nerasta, dėžė, žioja tokia skylė.
Atėjo Ignas ir pasakė, kad vyrai turim 6 valandas, tai per tiek laiko galim nuversti kalnus. Ačiū Dievui, mums Stymas pagelbėjo ir mes tempėm automobilį pas juos.
Jau praktiškai nukelinėjant pavarų dėžę, paaiškėjo, kad jos negalime ištraukti, nes rėmėsi į subframe'ą. Kol Vaidas virino, aš tikiau varžtus ir dėjau atgal pavarų dėžę. Tuo metu komandos inžinierius Dainius taisė sriegius, taip pat Vaidas padarė plokštumas ir lėkėm pilna to žodžio prasme į kačergą.
Susikrovė visi daiktus, bėgom ją pasitikti ir pamatyti ir užvesti.
Dar nemačiau, kad taip greit surinktume visą automobilio priekį, buvo žaibiškai viskas susukta, bet viską spėjom, išpylėm kuro, dar spėjom ir padangas pasirinkti, kurios geresnės.
Pats faktas, kad mūsų pirmųjų kvalifikacijų metu lyjant stipriam lietui tarp tikrai galingų varžovų iškovojom pirmą vietą, neleido nuleisti rankų. Tai tokios lenktynėse tikrai negali nestartuoti. Nežinau, kur esam, kokioje pozicijoje ir pamačiau jų visas jau reakcijas ir daužymą per kapotą, jau buvo viskas aišku, kad atidirbom. Ypatingai Feslapo dienos istorija, būtent kaip mum jį prasidėjo, kaip jinai nukrito, nuo kur mes atsispyrėm ir ką mes pasiekėm. Tai turbūt buvo didžiausias vainikas, kokį mes galėjom išregzti savo rankomis.